Hello. Well, I've not long got back from the Olympic Games at London 2012, where I went to see rowing and fencing. So, if you saw my last video where I did some ticket unboxing, and there it is there, I said I would report back on how the events went and what I thought. So, this is my review of the events I've been to. I travelled down on Friday, August the 3rd, down to Maidenhead, which is about 25 miles or around 40 kilometres west of London. But crucially, it's only about 3 miles or 5 kilometres from the rowing venue at Eton Dorney. From Maidenhead there was a free shuttle bus that took you all the way to Windsor Racecourse, which is about a 20-minute walk from the main entrance of the rowing venue. The website recommended you turn up about an hour before the event starts to get through security and things like that. And just after I made the last video, actually, there was a big news story in the UK about the security provision at the Games and how the army had had to step in to cover a private company's shortfall. But actually, there were so many booths that it took all of 5 seconds to get through the security. When I turned up, the queues for the food were almost of biblical proportions. It was amazing, actually. And when you got to the front, the cost was just extortionate, really. £4.50, something like $7 for a bacon sandwich, and £8.50, something like, I don't know, $14 for something like chicken skewers or fish and chips. So that was just set above the price that I was willing to pay, and so I'd actually bought a little bit of food in Maidenhead just before I arrived, because I was sort of thinking the food would be very expensive. If I had a gripe about the actual site itself, is that the provision of water fountains could have been better. Because of the security restrictions, everyone had to bring in empty bottles. So with 30,000 people on the site, it was obvious that people were going to be filling up bottles of water. The pressure was quite low, and there only seemed to be 3 or 4 of these fountains, so some of the queues were pretty long. Other than that, I can't really fault the rowing at all. It was a fantastic day. The atmosphere was really great, and apart from the heavy rain shower we had, nothing else was bad at all. What was even better for me personally is the fact that I got to witness 2 gold medals from Team GB. That's the men's 4 and the women's lightweight double. So a huge amount of noise when those came in. And then straight after that we saw the agonising result from the men's lightweight doubles, just missing out on the 3rd gold in a row. So after the event I thought it would be absolute chaos trying to leave, but there were so many shuttle buses that you just did not have to wait at all. I got on a shuttle bus to Slough station, and we had a free travel card from there that took us into London. Within 3 minutes of turning up at Slough station, a large train arrived with about 6 carriages, and it was a non-stop service all the way to central London to Paddington. I probably left the rowing venue just before 2 PM, and I was in London, in Paddington station, probably only about 25 past 2. So it was pretty painless, and it actually meant I had plenty of time to come for the fencing. As part of the tickets that you got a free travel card that is valid on all London Underground services, the Docklands Light Railway and National Rail services to various Olympic venues. So, armed with a free travel card and a good couple of hours to spare, I went and did the touristy thing and did some sightseeing of my own. So after a bit of sightseeing I went to the XL, which is in London Docklands, which is actually on the east side of London. So again, I turned up approximately an hour before and just breezed straight through the security. It was very quick, hardly any queue at all, and lots of the games maker volunteers, very jolly, pointing him in the right direction to go. Now, I am glad that I got into the arena just before the main event, because they were showing you some of the rules of fencing and how they all operate. Now, the particular one I went to see was the women's team epée, and the epée I think is one where you must score with the tip of the weapon, and you can score anywhere on the body. And to me that seems a bit more logical than the other one, especially because both opponents can score at the same time as well. So it was all quite interesting. I'd never seen fencing before, so it was completely new for me. And yeah, you'd certainly get into some of the matches. So the first one was the bronze medal match between Russia and the United States, and that actually went to overtime. The gold medal match was between China and South Korea, and this one was a bit more one-sided, with China taking a rather hefty lead. So unfortunately, legal restrictions mean I can't show you any photos from there, but I'm sure you'll be able to see plenty of photos and videos on various other channels. So, all in all, it was a great day out. I'm really pleased I actually got the tickets, and I experienced virtually no problems whatsoever. There's a lot of talk about, would London be ready, would the queues be horrific, and all sorts of other things like that, but actually no problems. I think, as one woman I spoke to said, it's almost a case of under-promising and over-delivering, and that's certainly how I felt my experience of the games went. If you went to the London 2012 games, why not post a comment or video response and say what you thought? I'd be interested to hear it. I would also be interested to hear, if you're not from the UK, to see what you've thought of London's games, and perhaps the opening ceremony or any other aspect. Obviously, from my point of view, it's been a fantastic Games for Great Britain, with the largest medal haul I can remember. So, thanks for watching.